America will not allow the crisis in Myanmar to continue forever. America will not allow China to just step over Myanmar. 2026, 2027, America is stepping up its role in Myanmar, hence the Brave Burma Act. Hello everyone, I'm Asian Anthony, and in this video we're going to talk about something called the Brave Burma Act, a piece of legislation that was passed by the House of Representatives in 2026. First, let me just say that the current government in Myanmar is not scared of Donald Trump. Quite the opposite. They have been trying to normalize relations for a long time. They would love to make a deal. They would love for Donald Trump to fly to Myanmar for some type of diplomatic talks. Let me just remind you, in 2021, Donald Trump sanctions the leader of Myanmar and his friends. What does the leader of Myanmar do? The leader of Myanmar actually praises Donald Trump. And in response, Donald Trump eases some of these sanctions. 2019, a Muslim refugee from the Rohingya crisis goes to America, gives a speech about her life in Myanmar, and is very sad and tearful. But after the speech, Donald Trump was in the audience. After the speech, Donald Trump looks at her and says, "Where's Rohingya?" This is because Donald Trump actually doesn't know, okay? And he is not the person who we look to for most of these international affairs. The person who is in charge of affairs like this, his name is Marco Rubio. He's the third in line, and he is the Secretary of State. January 4th, 2026, this is Myanmar's Independence Day. Marco Rubio publicly supports the resistance fighters and those fighting for democracy. April 17th, 2026, Marco Rubio again publicly supports the peace process in Myanmar and those fighting for peace in the name of democracy. Okay, and also Marco Rubio is the person who is warning U.S. officials about Chinese activities in Myanmar. But he is not the only one who feels this way. There's a long list of bipartisan legislators. Bipartisan just means that people on the left and the right, Republicans and Democrats, conservatives and liberals, so everyone. There's a long list of bipartisan legislators who agree with Marco Rubio, such that they have created a bill called the Brave Burma Act. Okay, the BRAVE stands for Bringing Real Accountability via Enforcement. Yes, enforcement. This is the strongest piece of legislation to come out of America since this crisis has begun. So what does this Brave Burma Act do? Well, it targets the military financially, okay? They're trying to stop their money, their cash flow. It also targets the jet fuel usage in an attempt to stop the airstrikes. It also gives way for something called a special envoy. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. In this Brave Burma Act, they're going to set up something called a special envoy. Now, this special envoy will be filled with people who have diplomatic level passage. These will be like their ambassadors, basically, and they will be the ones directly speaking to the resistance fighters, those who fight for democracy, that is, and they will be setting up. They will be listening to those resistance fighters, and they will be giving sanctions to the people that the resistance fighters thinks are the enemy. They will also be representing the resistance fighters in front of the ASEAN leaders to try to bring an end to the war. And they will also be the ones that will be talking directly to the leader of the current regime in Myanmar in hopes to bring peace. Okay. Now, I say that to say this. America has plenty of options. It's not just about war and invasion. America did not need to invade Cuba, brought them to a complete halt. America did not need to invade Panama, got them to kick out the Chinese people. America did not need to invade Venezuela, and they just snatched their leader up. Okay, same with Iran. You can say what you want about this conflict with Iran, but America did not invade Iran, and we still completely stopped everything in the tracks. Okay, so there are lots of other options. It's not just about war. And also remember, there's no reason to think that Trump and the leader of Myanmar can't be friends. Look at North Korea. They have a dictator, totalitarian dictator. Donald Trump seems to get along fine with him. Okay, so it's not just about war. Okay, there's lots of avenues to peace, but 2026, 2027, I guarantee you the conflict comes to an end or we will be looking at war.